Todd McShay, Ringer draft analyst, former draft analyst for ESPN for a number of years, talked about Andrew Berry's decision to trade back in the draft from 2 to 5.
You know what takes real onions?
Yeah, it does.
Real onions. When you haven't been winning and you're going to bypass Shohei Ohtani possibly and trade back to get next year's, you talk about someone who's sitting in that seat in Andrew Berry, who is taking the organizational priorities and putting it ahead of his priorities and Kevin Stefanski's priorities of winning now to save their jobs. He feels safe, and hopefully Jimmy Haslam has told him you are safe because he just made a move of a general manager who has the luxury to do that, and it's brilliant. It's brilliant. They move back and get a defensive tackle in Mason Graham that most teams, not all, but most teams viewed as a top 5, top 7 player. Some teams saw him at like 3 or 4. You put him next to Myles Garrett.
Right. Who apparently loved the pick, by the way.
How could you not?
I know.
Right?
Yeah.
And so now it's going to be ferocious.
I love that.
Tenacious.
There you go.
Ferocious. This front with Malik Collins, Shelby Harris, Myles Garrett, it's going to be fun to watch.
G. Bush, I don't have a problem with that necessary trade. And what I have a problem with is this team needs some playmakers. And I think Hunter could have been a playmaker. I understand the thought if he had to play. I don't think you can rely on him playing both sides of the football. Nobody's been able to do that. So I don't want to rely on a guy to do something that nobody has done in the NFL. But I do want some playmakers, and I want some early draft capital spent on skill position guys. And we didn't get it again. Second round, yeah, I love Judkins. Give me another guy early.
I think most people, you look there, you have Luther Burden on the roster, or excuse me, on the board where you can take that pick. There's multiple receivers, and one thing that we're going to realize this year, you have a guy in Jerry Jeudy, but you look like you're resetting some stuff. You got Deontay Johnson that you kind of brought in as a flyer, has some character issues, some stuff off the field. That's been well documented. You got Cedric Tillman, you got Jamari Thrash, and Mike Woods, some other guys like that. But when you talk about your skill position groups at receiver, you're probably the worst group in the league. You probably have the worst set of receivers in the league, and when guys have 2 or 3 receivers, you're gonna, it's trouble for you. Here's the thing that I want to get to, and I hear it all draft. I hear it all the time. Well, G. Bush, it's the trenches. It's the trenches. Hey, it's the trenches. You got to build the guys up front and all that good. And I understand that, but they always bring up the Philadelphia Eagles as if the Philadelphia Eagles don't have Jalen Hurts, who's been to a Super Bowl twice, as if the Philadelphia Eagles do not have A.J. Brown, as if they don't have Devontae Smith, as they don't have a really great plethora of tight ends, and they went out and got the best running back in Saquon Barkley the year before. When you talk about their skill position units, they are probably a top 5 skill position unit in the league, but all we look at is the defensive line because that's what we want to convince ourselves that this is what it's all about. No, it's about scoring points. When you're in this league, and you're trying to score points, you got to understand illegal contact is down the field is a first down. When you talk about pass interference, is a spot foul. When you talk about what quarterbacks can do and what you can't hit a quarterback, you can't tackle him in the head, you can't hit him in the face. The league is set up for offenses to score points, and at some point, I get it. At some point, you're going to have to say, I get the fact that we are a blue-collar city, but the game evolves. You have to have skill positions out east and west, and they can get north and south. And I know sometimes, the personalities of receivers kind of rub people the wrong way, or the personality of guys that put the ball in the end zone can rub somebody the wrong way. But we're going to have to actually come to the conclusion that you need those guys to win football games. And you're going to have to just shut up and take a look at it and say, listen, hey, I would rather have a guy that has a little bit of a quirky personality or wants to have fun when he gets in the end zone, as long as he getting in the end zone. So next year we got 2 first-round picks. If it's not a quarterback, they have to go skill position and get some weapons, man.
I'm with you. They haven't taken a wide receiver under Andrew Berry before the third round. They had 2 third-rounders.